Hello, everybody. Here's Tiago for another tutorial on how to automate your whole podcasting production. So, I've had some feedback from you guys saying that you're not able to find the Podsqueeze app on N8N, which is normal because I just checked and it's not available on the cloud version. So, it's only available if you self host N8N. So, not to worry. I already applied and submitted the Podsqueeze app so that it's available on the cloud. So, once it is available, I will share that as well in the newsletter. But in the meantime, I want to show you how you can create your own integration with Podsqueeze API through N8N without the need of using our own Podsqueeze app. Okay, so it's quite simple. Here I have opened the cloud version of N8N. This is the trial version, but it should work the same. And I have here the link of the automation. It's already done for you. So I will also share this on the show notes of this episode. So you go there and you can just click, you get this link, you copy the link. And then here, you on your workflow on N8N, you click on import from URL, you click on it, you paste the URL here, and then import. And then, like magic, you have the whole basis of the automation done for you. Of course, this is just the start, then you can automate and customize it to your needs. But let's just go through it so that you understand what's going on here. So here we have a manual workflow or a manual start, which means that this is just for testing. So this basically means that if I want to execute this workflow, I have to click here. So I need to manually execute the workflow. You can switch this through of course, the apps of N8N, and you can pick other apps. Normally, what I pick is the scheduled trigger. And in this one, you can define when you want to run this automation. So you can say run this automation every day, or you can also define the hours and time. Or another thing that you can also pick is the RSS trigger, where you basically paste your RSS feed, and every time there's something new, it will trigger this automation. And if you check the other videos that I posted before, I have more in-depth tutorial showing how you can connect this specific trigger with your Podsqueeze app. And in this case, you would just connect rather to this automation. But now we're just using the manual trigger. So the first thing that happens is the API call. This is an HTTP request that will call, oops, let me move me here. It will call the Podsqueeze API. So the only thing that you need to do here is to add your API token here, where it says token, okay? So you just need to go on your Podsqueeze dashboard, then click on API access, and then it will generate your token. You copy and you paste your token to here. So once this is done, there's also a few other things you can do. So here on the JSON body, you can define a few things. So first of all, your podcast ID. This will be also your podcast folder on Podsqueeze. So you can give whatever name you want here. And this is the episode URL. So here you'll paste the URL of the episode. Keep in mind that it must be a accessibly public URL, which means that it cannot be behind any type of authentication. So anyone with an incognito browser should be able to access this URL, basically. And if that happens, then Podsqueeze will also be able to get this URL and download the content. So here you can connect it with, for instance, your RSS feed trigger. Again, if you check the other episodes or the other videos rather that I shared in the past, there are, and I will also link them at the end of this video. But yeah, you'll be able to see how you can do this type of connection. And here is the episode title, and you can also connect it with your RSS trigger if you want. So this will basically start the converting process on Podsqueeze. Then we have this other call that will check the status. Again, here you just have to replace the token for your API token. And here you don't need to do anything, but it's just calling the get job status mode with this episode ID and the podcast ID, which were defined in the previous node. And this will call, then you'll get here if node. In this if node, it's checking the status. If the status is completed, then it means that it's done. If it's not completed, it goes back to the waits a few seconds and tries to check again, and it will repeat this process until the job is done. So once the job is done, you can do whatever you want with this content. In this case, I am creating a tweet, but you can post on LinkedIn, you can send a newsletter. Again, if you check the previous videos, you can see how I automated my LinkedIn social media through the podcast. So now every time I release a new podcast, a new episode rather, it will announce in both LinkedIn and Twitter that I've released a new episode, and then it will wait 2 days and then post a more in-depth post on LinkedIn based on that episode. So there are a lot of possibilities here. But let's run this so that you can see how it works. I will click on run. Of course, it didn't work because I didn't switch the token. So I'll switch the token first. And as you can see, it is calling Podsqueeze API, starting the job. Okay, it's done. Let's see. Here, it's the output of this node is the episode ID and the podcast ID that is already wired to the next node where it's checking the status. So let's see the status. First, as you can see, it was created. This is the time. job ID, language, and the status says processing. And now it will just go through this a few times until all the assets are created. As you can see, there are already a few assets being created. So we already have the quotes, we already have the mentions. So if you only need the quotes, for instance, you can even say for the job to stop once the quotes are in. But for now, I want to have all the assets generated through Podsqueeze. So I'm basically checking for the status. So here on the if clause, I'm seeing if status is done. So once status is equal to completed, it means that the job is done and we can move forward. Okay, and now it's done. So it didn't create the tweet because I didn't set it up properly, but I just want to show you what happens once it's done. So let's click here. And as you can see, it is done, or maybe let's go first to is done. So as you can see here, it's completed, it's done. And here you have all of these assets that were generated, and you can just basically drag and drop whatever you want to post to your next node. So in this case, it would basically create a tweet with the bullet points. Doesn't make sense in this case, but it's just for you to understand the possibilities, right? So if you check the previous videos, you'll see that you can also use your Podsqueeze custom content here in the API, so you can tune the perfect posts, the perfect tweets, whatever, so that then you can just drag and drop here and automate your whole post-production and promotion process using N8N and Podsqueeze. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment in the YouTube video or to shoot me an email, and I will try to answer as best as I can. And if needed, I can also create other tutorials for you. So good luck automating your whole process, and see you next time.